Oh, I don't know. Okay.
No food or no prices. They got a good door prices. That'll lose appendix just as that. Food or the door price. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. All you gotta do is mention free. Let's tell it the way it is.
So get cops to go to those. Yeah, hey.
Donuts.
Okay, so there is a typo on
The list.
on number 11.
So since
I gave
had
you guys a
COVID,
corrected
they're
copy.
talking about whether or not to give shots to the people that are.
Yeah, it should be 20.
To people who had COVID.
It's just a
It doesn't
typo.
make sense not to, I think.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because you're theoretically, but there, I know there's,
Yeah, but it's
It was so much paperwork. I just decided I'm not going to read.
they don't know that though. They don't know, yeah.
I ran out of time.
That's true, yeah. But at least, wouldn't you say if you
No, I
last on the
could
list?
not. Oh, yeah.
Depending on your,
No, it's just being gone yesterday was not convenient.
really, because you're,
No, yes. Yeah, I didn't want to come in and in case I had something contagious, so.
who's the sheriff? Corey.
Those two, I cannot believe they have not.
I'm reserved, so.
Grade 1B. Now I see it.
Don't know.
Yeah, I was talking with
Nope.
Casey Ward about Moderna vaccination.
Whatever.
Get that
Oh,
today,
did,
right?
yeah.
I think it shows up.
It shows up today,
My,
so. Just kind of nixed you out or what? That seems so.
Well, so you were telling me there's kind of a direct line between healthcare world and the state for this crisis. I mean,
At the beginning, we're
yeah. I mean, in some ways, it makes sense if you can, if that's enough capacity to handle it, that kind of makes sense. But
weren't you guys on the front line though initially when this thing happened?
I think long term.
Yeah.
Good morning. Oh, look at my coffee over here.
I just thought I'd let you handle it.
Yeah.
Because I already laid a ton of extra stuff here, so.
Yeah, then they're not very quickly on that. Thank you.
Yes.
Are we fired up, Lee?
yeah, you're streaming.
All right. It is 9 a.m., so I am going to call the Codington County Board of Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Natalie, how would you like to lead us today?
Love it. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just a reminder, if you have a cell phone, if you would please silence it. We are streaming live on YouTube. Item number 2, call for public comment. We will still take calls from individuals if they would like to just call in with items that are not on the agenda, just for our advisement. We cannot take action on them. The 2 numbers are 882-6248 and 882-6297. Item number 3, conflict of interest items. Are there any on the agenda for fellow commissioners?
No.
All right. Item number 4, action to approve the December 22nd, 2020 agenda.
So move. Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by. Okay, you okay with Troy did it, but Charlie,
That wasn't me. I was.
it was
Sure, I'm just
between you
making sure.
two. So, okay, we got a second by Waterman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. Action to approve the minutes of the December 15th,
So moved.
2020
Second.
meeting. Motion by Van Dusen, second by Gable. Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item number 6, monthly reports. We'll start with Jamie, Emergency Manager, and then we'll go right into 7 as well while you're up here and just get an update on that. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
Good
Morning. Well, she's been kind of a busy month again with classes and such. I'll just start with COVID, and I continue to monitor with specifically just with the South Dakota Department of Health's side of it, along with our Region 2 Skype. We continue to monitor with local unified task force, county, towns, schools, and our long-term facilities that are in the county. We follow the South Dakota Department of Health numbers as a state. And what I'm noticing, active cases are right now kind of declining in the right direction as far as the state as a whole, even though we still have on the 7-day trend, what I look at on the demographic side. Those numbers and the positivity rate have dropped, but we still remain high as far as active cases as a whole, and our death rate continues to kind of maintain that same trend. With the recent rollout of the Pfizer vaccine and now the Moderna vaccine coming to the table today, I follow along. They've also added on their website, they report how many vaccinations have been given out. Total yesterday was showing 7,516 as a state. 179 of those vaccines have been administered in Codington County. So that's kind of, we continue to monitor with that and hopefully stay on top of it. The Department of Health still leads that show. So some of the things that I've done over the last month since our last meeting, continue to attend Department of Health virtual meetings on the COVID vaccines weekly. And what comes out of those is Department of Health is still leading with our healthcare providers as a lead agency for that response. We had our last pod meeting on December 7th. One thing with that is our current contractor is not going to be renewing her contract with Department of Health, but that'll come up on our next agenda item here. I did respond to a bale fire north of Kransberg on December 9th, just to assist if there was any need for mutual aid of lighting and such. Watertown Fire was the initial agency that responded, but then they called in for South Shore and Goodwin on that one. I've attended December 9th and 10th. I took a virtual class sponsored by the state and the FEMA agency and received a certificate on the recovery of disaster at local response. I also assisted the last 3 weekends with the sheriff's office and the food director of Salvation Army as part of one of my reach out performance grant funding. I have to do an outreach program to meet the state's needs. So Sherry and I partook in that one. And December 15th, last week at night, 1st District and Dual County had their first pre-disaster mitigation plan meeting for the year as they rewrite their plans. And you're going to see that come into our play too in the next year as those. We also worked with Todd Kays and Cindy along with others at 1st District on getting our towns on the commitment letters for those deadlines to start writing that grant on the PDM. And then I continue to virtually attend bi-weekly meetings with our state coordinator out of the Aberdeen office. And mostly discussions of what's going on in all of our surrounding counties and paying attention if there's any logistics or anything. Moving to weather, kind of looks like it changed overnight. We're now in a storm watch beginning tonight through tomorrow about 6 p.m. We have a chance, looks kind of minimal, but 1 to 3 inches, it shows about 23% chance. But the driving force behind the storm watch, I believe, is we're looking at the potential 50 and 60 mile-an-hour gusts coming our way overnight through tomorrow. Sustained winds will stay in that 25 to 35 mile per hour area. Our drought monitor for our local county has unchanged. We're still in that abnormally dry category. There is a little greater risk as far as fire danger is concerned through the course of kind of today. Not so much probably as tomorrow because of the impending snow and storm, but with those gusty winds, if we don't see some moisture, that could elevate some things. They usually update that about between 2 and 4 in the afternoon again. Currently, we're in kind of a high risk category as far as any burning or fire danger potential. The big keys that they're still showing is southwest part of the state and the southern half of the state, where they're in those moderate and very high categories of drought. And that's about summing it up for things that have went down in the office this month. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. So let's move on then to item number 7, action to approve a pod grant agreement. What are your wishes on that?
Actually, I am currently pursuing, you heard me announce that the current contractor is not renewing to facilitate a contract with the state as far as the Department of Health's pod plan. With that said, things have kind of changed because that lies in their hands. They are the lead agency. This is their plan. Early on, I did sign this back in October, which I failed to bring to the commission, which I didn't realize I should have. So right now, as it stands, I'm pursuing in process with the state's attorney's office and the Department of Health on what they're going to do with this. So if we could, I would like to bring this back to the agenda next week. Unless you guys want further discussion on it. We're seeking some guidance because it's naming us as the consultant now. And that's what happened. They don't have a contractor or a consultant.
If you
That's
remember a
typical.
few years ago, Jim Sutton had concerns with this
And
contract
yeah,
also.
and Jim's,
And
They-
is it
they-
always such a short contract? I did not realize that October through May.
I think last year it was longer.
Well, that's kind of what I was wondering, why the shortened
The other thing, I mean,
timeframe?
Department of Health contract, so they call us the consultant for the nurse contract as well. I don't know why they use that wording. I'm not a lawyer, but
And a few years ago, I believe what happened is Department of Health tasked this on a lot of counties. We're not alone on this.
Right.
Our whole area of emergency managers are poised with this. There's quite a bit of professional and liability insurance that we would have to cover. So I'm going to seek further guidance before we spend money being the consultant for a regional pod, which includes 3 other counties in our area.
so is that, but before the previous consultant that we would hire would carry that. I mean, that's kind of thing.
Right.
we have to
And I believe
consult.
we've had former contracts with that individual.
That I don't know for sure. I don't know how long she's
As it sits
been.
right now, the state does not have that person for this plan.
Yeah,
And I'd like to seek a little further guidance.
yeah, it's a bit confusing, yeah.
And I have to do so with the Department of Health. And I've reached out to the first person to contact, and as it stands right now, they're pursuing.
Yeah.
Trying.
You could ask a state, since it's a lot of the contract language, maybe the state's attorney can help
Yep.
interpret some of that,
Correct.
you know,
They've been in conversation.
so.
Yeah, because when you sign, that person was in place.
Yep.
So things have
And
changed.
that's why it was getting pushed through back in October. It's early on in that planning, it was, we need to get in play just in case that a mass vaccination would possibly take, but that was back when they were predicting vaccines out at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then they reached out. We actually provided our plan with a lot of healthcare providers,
Mhm.
and then they redesigned their own plan to attack those phase 1As, 1Bs of what's going on right now as far as frontline.
There is a clause in here, a provision that it can be terminated within 30 days upon written notice by either party. So
Correct.
that's good to have that in there.
Yes.
It's in our lap, but it's also in theirs as well.
Mhm.
All right.
Right.
I'd like to get a little further guidance on it before we sign off on this.
We'll just put it on for next week then, and if you know anything by then.
Yep.
We'll just kind of keep it on there till you
Okay.
get to that point. So also then number 17, discussion possible action to adopt a resolution to ban open burning. Should we continue to leave that on, or is that something we could pull off now when we get this time of year? What's your thoughts?
Pending this storm, I did reach out to the county fire departments yesterday again, and most of them, the same answer I got priorly. Most people, as far as the rural is, are done burning. The risk factor is somebody maybe throwing out a lit object and starting something.
Which a burn ban ain't gonna prevent.
No.
I don't believe so.
But those guys don't check.
Basically, I got wished a Merry Christmas and said they didn't feel the need
So-
currently, but pending, if we get some moisture out of this storm, that could change the tables, but if you want to leave it on for one more week, and then maybe let's just make a decision factor as far as pursuing it.
Right. And then you are,
Weekly or
work-
monthly, or
yeah, and then you are working on that revision to our resolution possibly.
correct. I've reached out. It's impressive to me, and a lot of our surrounding counties don't have them. And I kind of disagree.
What is that for?
The res-
Like a
The burn ban
The burn
resolution.
ban
Oh,
resolution
revisit
to-
the burn ban.
Okay.
Current policy.
Yeah. So like when we talked about, can we put it on for just a short period of time, just a few
Right.
hours?
And there are
So it
few-
doesn't on from week
There
to
are a few
week.
southern counties that do that, but not much in our tier, but and there's quite a few that actually can come and get a permit. No, that would probably inundate us.
Oh, Cindy would just need another job, right?
Did you what?
I
Sorry.
know, I'm just kidding. That would be Jamie.
Currently, I think the weekly thing is more sustainable right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I would reiterate though, I have a neighbor that loves to use his burning barrel. And I went by the other day and the flames were about 10 feet above the burning barrel. I don't know if he had a screen on it or not. If he did, it probably got burned off. I don't know. But if you're gonna use your burning barrel out there, which is fine, but find a screen or find a grid to put over the top of that thing, just to kind of help control. Because at first I thought his house was on fire. It was just a burning barrel.
Well, hopefully after
There's-
tomorrow, we won't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I'd rather have to worry about it. I don't like snow.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, yeah.
We
we can't
typically
choose.
get the wind, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. They said they're 100% on that.
No, so I see situation report just popped again on the weather service, so maybe something's changed just since
All right,
4 o'clock this morning.
Merry Christmas.
Anything else? Happy holidays to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jamie.
Jamie. All right, we will move on to item number 8, action to authorize the chair to sign an agreement for a riprap bid project, and that would be Rick. If you'd want to come up.
Good morning.
Morning,
Rick.
This is just formality with the riprap project that's going to take place to have a contract. Because there is a deadline of the end of February the 28th of getting this done, so.
I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to sign an agreement for the riprap bid project.
Second.
Have a motion by Gable, second by Van Duzen. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Think Lake.
Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Now they
Thank
can
you.
get to work.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay.
Okay, item number 9, action to approve a cell phone stipend for deputy state's attorneys. That would be with Becky.
Morning, Becky.
Good morning, Becky.
Hello. We, and I think it'll be in personnel items, have hired a new deputy state's attorney, Allison Backen. She started yesterday. And then Megan LaFramboise has been working for us since March. Neither of them, Allison just started, but had not been receiving emails on their phones and stuff. Becca Ryder was, I do, but Megan now stepping up with responsibilities is, and Allison would like to just start out doing that. What we use our cell phones for, we have our emails coming to our phones. Law enforcement officers call us with questions from the field. They text message us with questions from the field. And so I'm asking for them to be able to receive cell phone stipends.
And I'll need a dollar amount for
which amount?
each and a start date for each.
It would be $40 for each of them. Megan put hers on and started in December. I would ask for hers to be December. Allison would be January 1.
Make a motion to approve the request.
I'll second that.
We got a motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable.
And just, while we're talking about this, Madam Chair, while we're talking about cell phone stipends, I mean, this is kind of, you asked our compensation consultant to take a look at this. I mean, this is kind of we have questions about it because people, I mean, $40. Yeah, so.
So,
It could
Probably
change.
yeah,
Yeah.
For now.
right. It's kind of where we're at. We talked about this, taking a look at that and with plans changing and how that all is, but, okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. All right, item number 10.
Thank you, Becky.
Yeah, thanks, Becky.
And the
She's
next
on the
one.
next one too.
Oh, yeah.
Action to allocate juvenile justice reinvestment initiative funds to the Watertown Boys and Girls Club.
Each year, we receive juvenile justice reinvestment initiative funds from the state of South Dakota. I had invited the Boys and Girls Club to come, something must have.
The COVID.
They have
Yeah,
COVID.
Lewis has COVID.
Oh, sorry. No, I didn't
We
know.
got-
I just found out this morning.
Lee and I
myself.
both got an email last night. from
Okay.
Liz saying that
Yeah.
they were-
So They were gonna come do a little presentation, but I can gonna give you some background. This is a program administered through the state. Money is funneled back to the counties based on the number of juvenile offenders that we send to a diversion program. Brooke Reburn with the Boys and Girls Club is handling that program. Last year, we sent 119 juveniles to that program. 84 successfully completed it. 35 were unsuccessful. Based upon our 84 completers, the state has a formula, and each successful completer, we got $221.81 for. So that's how our amount of the $18,632.04 that Codington County received. That's how that amount came. So I am asking and recommending that that amount be again given to the Boys and Girls Club for the administration of the program again for next year.
So I'll make that motion.
It's a substantial, a substantial amount more. The state, in the previous year, they had $250,000 to allocate out to the counties. This year, they had $415,000. So the state had more money to give to.
That's good.
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion by Gable, second by Johnson. It is a asset to our community that this is happening and that's.
Can I,
And we actually were the third highest number of completers in the state.
yeah, so
Guessing Pennington and Minnehaha were the first.
Pennington was number 1 and Minnehaha was number 2. And it was a substantial difference between the two.
So just to give people some background on this, Madam Chair. So this is this is as a result of the JDAI program that the state has helped us with. And then we, as you recall, we had the juvenile diversion coordinator at the Boys and Girls Club. That's Brooke, that we hired with another grant. I guess it comes out of the same overall pool of funds. And so this is a result. So compared to last year, so we're at what, 18,000 and something. And so last year was about 2,400 with just teen court, I guess, was our primary diversion program. This has allowed us to have a variety of diversion programs. So the flow of juveniles, that get cited and offenders, it's probably about the same. It's just now we have all these diversion things that we can do through the Boys and Girls Club that maybe aren't as heavy duty as teen court, but they still send that message that you don't want to do this again. It keeps them, from getting a criminal record. So hopefully a juvenile offender does not become an adult offender someday. So that's what this is all about. That's the goal of this whole thing. And the fact that this seems to me a good situation where we've utilized a community asset to do something that's pretty significant. And, the state's just giving us a little bit of incentive. So.
Is there any discretion how they use the 18,000?
This is something I think it's an ongoing discussion. Do we want to, because we like this idea of having this diversion coordinator at the Boys and Girls Club, then there's always a question, well, that's grant funded and what happens after a few years. So that's kind of a discussion. How do we do that? And presumably, this is something the Boys and Girls Club could use to hire that person, or maybe there's some other options to look at how we do that. But in the past, we've just kind of said here, Boys and Girls Club. So that's another discussion and we did kind of touch on that topic at the last JDAI meeting. Should we have a fund or something like that, with earmarks, but there's legalities in that. And maybe you could help us figure that out.
As we want to iron those things out. Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, the thing is that it does take funding to implement this program as well. Just, whatever supplies you need, those sorts of things too, just to try to keep it operational. And the good thing is, we've got 84 youth that hopefully are back on the right track again. And so
that's going to be used to strengthen the program, which is good.
Yeah.
So what it's doing is it's kind of, it is kind of, it's all kind of grant incentive money, but on the other hand, it could kind of, from a county perspective or Boys and Girls Club perspective, this helps sustain it. It contributes to the sustainment of the program.
That's true. Because that grant runs out, how many was that, 5 years?
I think we renew it every year.
It is every, I was thinking it was longer than that.
Year.
We're on at least our second year.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
it was fairly.
August 2021.
I don't remember.
Maybe some, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. And so the
Yeah.
question is, will it go on forever? I mean, it seems to be, as programs are more successful, then the state's a bit more likely to fund them. So,
Right. Well,
and this seems to be the case. So.
keep them out of jail. It's 2021 union contract, and we'll do the other one right behind that, so you can. And the life insurance discussion.
Morning, Ally.
Good morning.
Good morning, Natalie.
Okay, got some paperwork for you. So we're doing sheriffs first, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna take one and pass it on.
Are we having internet trouble?
I wondered that too, something happened to the meeting.
Okay, I think, yeah. It says it's okay now. I'm getting a text from
It's on delay.
spectators.
I know. it's-
Thank you, Glenn.
No, let me fix it. Okay.
Did you have a chance to look at Appendix A on this one with the amounts? And so
We
this is,
approved, or I had Alyssa check it.
Okay.
So the correct amounts are in there.
Thank you.
According to the payroll resolution that we're preparing.
okay,
Yes.
perfect, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so I think this is what you're all aware of and what we've discussed. So if you have questions, let me know.
This is for 1 or 2 years.
This is for one. We've talked about doing 2, but as of right now, it's still 1.
Are there any significant changes that we need to look for, like uniform allowance,
Yeah.
amounts, anything increasing?
In the sheriff's, no.
Okay.
And-
Nothing
and-
with shift differential or lead hours? Nothing changed?
No,
Okay.
it's not part of this contract, but they did agree part-timers would get a 50-cent shift differential was discussed, but the part-timers aren't part of the union contract.
Right, okay, so,
So I don't know if we need to put that on the
yeah, we will.
agenda otherwise
Yeah,
for
we
next
will.
week.
Yep.
Okay,
Just send me an email, how
Yep.
to word it. Okay.
okay.
I'll move to approve it.
Second.
Motion by Johnson, second by Waterman to approve the contract with
So
the,
basically, the only change is the COLA.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
All right, thank you.
any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, that motion carries. Item number 13, action to approve the correctional officers 2021 union contract.
Okay, same thing. Take one and pass it on. This was all discussed as well. Cindy, I'm trying to
This
remember
is
for
the
you
same.
what the significant changes were.
Is this the same? I get the same.
They're different. You have to kind of go down a little bit further to see that one, they both start out talking about sheriff's departments, since the correctional
Okay,
officers are
yeah,
in the
yeah,
sheriff.
okay.
Oh,
Then
then
if you
okay,
look
'cause I
down-
thought, did I print the
No.
same thing twice? All right.
No, it says correctional officers
Yeah,
if
okay.
you go down.
In, under recognition.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, so, okay.
The change, so one of the changes was retirement insurance. Or retirement, when the years that they would qualify. Can I use your copy for a second, Troy? Sorry. Let me see here. Trying to find where it is for you, Cindy.
Number 8, is that the one you're talking about on page 8?
Page 8.
That's pensions and retirement.
Page 8.
Sorry. It's on vacation payout. At, I just can't find that section right now. Vacation payout at retirement.
Here's on page
Say what?
page 19 is vacation schedules and 38, or sorry, 18 and 19. It's at the bottom of page
I say,
18.
why can I not find what I'm looking for?
Look at the bottom of
Thank
page
you.
18. That might be what you're.
I was looking at that, but that was.
It's changed from 20 to 10. Just can't find where the appropriate section is.
Cool.
Pension and retirement on page 8. Try that. I'm just looking at the
I know.
index there. I don't know.
No,
Change from 20 10 years. Is that what you're saying?
right.
Okay. That's what we kind of want to- Okay, so is it C, maybe the middle of page 18, where it says C,
Which one is, sorry, what are you looking at?
employees will accrue vacation leave in accordance with the following schedule. And then
Okay,
after
yes,
10
page
years.
18, sorry. 38, in the middle of that, vacation hours not used during the calendar year in which they are earned may be carried over in successive years. Eligible employees working under 10 years may accrue a maximum, employees working over, and this was 20. I believe.
Okay. Okay.
Right, is that what we discussed?
I remember us discussing that, but it's,
So they're gonna be different than all of the other employees?
Correct.
Madam Chair, do we want to come back to this item, move on to the next one and come
Yeah,
back?
if
or-
you want to
So she
confirm
can
it
review
again.
that?
Yeah,
And go
so,
grab my computer and pull up the original.
yeah, I'm wondering, like, can we do it next week? That will give you a chance to go through and get the specifics so that Cindy has.
We can do
that
it
of
at the end
each
of this
one.
meeting, probably, if you want
Or
to come
you'd
back
have-
to it.
Okay,
Let's try and
Since
finalize it.
also,
if you can get it, okay.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
okay.
fine.
Or,
Okay.
you know, since we are meeting next week, we could do it next week too. So,
We already did approve the one though.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to get
I'll
those
get it,
numbers,
come back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the vacation changed in the sheriff's
No,
contract also? Okay.
and it was on, it was when, it was more like when they were eligible upon retirement. When they could get it paid out. And I'm just not finding. how
Okay,
that reads.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
okay, if you can
So
do it
find
by
you
the end,
pages,
Yep.
and we can
Yeah.
compare. Yep.
we can come back since, yeah, we did approve the one, so we'll
Okay.
We'll come back.
So just to be specific, for South Dakota retirement, you have to be a certain age to qualify for
Right. It wasn't
retirement.
changing retirement age.
Well, it wasn't, okay, so, and the county does participate in the special pay plan. So that money does not go directly to the employee, it goes to South Dakota
To the plan.
Retirement, and then the employee has the right to pull that out. So just whatever you
Yeah.
find in your wording, make sure that we're following what
Yeah.
we've already got. Okay,
Yep, good point. We'll
okay,
pull
all
it.
right, all right.
They have that
Okay.
contract.
Yes.
So, we'll probably
I'll just
do
carry that
number
over.
14.
Yeah, just leave that.
Yeah, we'll
I'll
come back. We'll do number 14 then, action to approve a life insurance policy for employees.
Yes, the statement of fees is passed on. We discussed this. So Roger Risty with Risty Benefits is your life insurance agent currently. And we had discussed the possibility of increasing the county's life insurance amounts. He provided some quotes and proposals. What he originally had provided and what we last discussed was a move to Mutual of Omaha. We are currently on this Reliance Standard policy, to clarify. And he had proposed a switch to Mutual of Omaha. Their rates were very good. Then after that discussion, they will not switch unless we offer the voluntary life. They will only take our life insurance if we're offering voluntary life. We talked about doing that, but at this time, we've passed open enrollment, Mutual of Omaha.
Okay.
So it went back to Reliance Standard and they provided you this proposal to move to 50. We're at 25 currently and they matched what Mutual of Omaha's rates were. So if you recall, Mutual of Omaha was going to be moving to a 50,000, it was gonna be 9306 annually. And this Reliance Standard rate, which is your current provider, so wouldn't require any switching or anything other than to change the rate, is 9132.84 annually. If you see on page 5 is the monthly premium they've quoted you, and then I just did an annual calculation.
Is that a renewable at that rate?
Good question. I do not know. I can
It
ask.
says it's guaranteed for 24 months. Oh, yeah, it is a 2-year guarantee.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And normally that is what they have provided us
It's a
in the
2-year.
past was 2-year. Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
yep, thank you.
So the same company has decided that they could do it for less.
Yeah.
Basically.
Correct.
We'll offer more,
Yes,
increase our benefit amount anyway.
yes. So I believe right now you're paying approximately 6,000 is for your annual. So this would be $25,000 more of coverage for the employees at about $3,000 annual cost.
Make a
I'll make a
motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. Any further discussion?
It doesn't come with so we talked about the guaranteed insurability. If the employee wants to go up to, say, 100,000, is that included?
That is if you do the voluntary life,
That's voluntary.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
which we're not
That's
doing
okay.
at this time.
Since
So
we're
the
out of the
motion is to
enrollment.
go with Reliance Standard for a $50,000 benefit, is that right?
Benefit amount.
Benefit
Yeah.
amount
Yep.
$50,000, premium rate $69 per month. Am I reading that right?
76107 per month. I
I'm
think.
looking at the individual, sorry,
Oh,
per employee. Or no,
Says basic life and then AD and D.
Just gonna divide by
I'm
17.
confused on that eligible employees 17
yeah, good
and
question.
estimated participating employees 17. That,
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, because originally this was estimated at 94 employees.
so let's see.
So whether this is a copy and paste of a different agreement that they had our numbers wrong or.
Well, if you divide those numbers, it's 4477 per employee. So should.
We're gonna need to call them and find out.
I was gonna say, we'll have to get a new
So-
proposal that says
I'll
94.
withdraw my motion to accept that until we have a chance to get the details on it.
We'll just put it on for next week's.
Yeah.
If that works. All right.
Sounds good.
Right.
Okay. Be back with the other union stuff.
All right, so we'll move on then and wait for to get this other information. Excuse me. Okay, item number 15, action to declare computer equipment surplus to be destroyed. And there was a list of that in here. These are Shawnee's the way it looks, or
Move to approve.
multitude of them. Okay, we
Second,
got a motion by Johnson, second by Van Duzen. Any comments, Cindy? Pretty
No, I believe these were computers that were no longer compatible with, what's the word, what's the,
Operating,
with the
for an operating system.
program.
yes, operating systems. So they are a number of older devices, and she is requesting that they be destroyed.
we shouldn't get them out of her office.
Yes.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. All right, item number 16, action to supplement budgets with commissioner contingency.
So after we posted payroll for the month of December, we have 3 budgets that are in need of supplementing. First one is the election budget, which has nothing to do with payroll, but basically has to do with the mailing of thousands of absentee ballots. When I prepared this budget, I had no idea that we were going to mail out that many absentee ballots. So the election budget will need $8,522.46. The veteran service budget is another office where Todd came in and inherited a budget that he did not prepare, and he was trying to bring the office up to speed technology wise. So he will need $1,980.49. The original budget for that office was $138,026.
I'll move.
So he's 1.4% over. And then the third one is the WIC budget, which I believe at the time the budget was prepared, there were 2 employees. One of them was the WIC clerical that there was a process going on to change their job descriptions from clerical to office manager type, and that was not planned for in this budget. So that's why they are 3.7% over. We have been reimbursed by the state of South Dakota for our WIC expenses per our contract. So none of that affects that contract, but we did under budget by $2,005.90 for WIC.
So you're gonna make a motion to.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to supplement those budgets with commissioner contingency funds.
Second.
All right, got a motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. Where does that leave our commissioner contingency fund at, if you have that total?
I do not have, well, I will have where we were at.
Cindy, I'm just curious that those positions weren't in the budget. They didn't know that those
They were
gonna
in the
happen that
budget,
year?
they were in the budget, but they were at their clerical
They
level,
they moved
and
them.
they negotiated.
Okay,
Yeah, they
All right.
negotiated for a higher.
Changed job
For
description.
some reason, my computer
Gotcha.
is locked,
Oh, wow.
it's crashing.
You're gonna need
We
to-
started out with 250,000 in commissioner's contingency. We used a small portion of that previously.
Was it for a clerk or something? Or?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yes, that's the only thing we've used for it. So we still had over $240,000 before these. And then we will look at this again next Tuesday, just to make sure we're where we need to be, Department of Legislative Audit wise.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion and a second? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. All right, now we move down to item number 18, action to approve claims for payment.
The first claims we have are the December payroll claims. Total claims are $664,483.49. This does include the payroll supplement the board approved for each employee in the amount of $650 or an amount prorated by their full-time status. It does not include any of the part-timers because we need their hours before we, in December, before we can make any payments to them. So it also includes our new health insurance premiums because we pay out for the month ahead. So those increases are in this amount also. Other than that, there's nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, also, we paid out longevity. And each employee is due longevity in the month of December, so those payments were also made. They range from $100 to $900 based on the employee's consecutive years of service.
So do we do this as a separate motion, payroll?
Payroll
I'll
claims are
make
set,
a-
yeah.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by
I'll
Gable,
second the motion.
second by Johnson. And just for clarification too, as commissioners, we did not receive any of that.
Commissioners did not receive any of
Extra
the
has-
$650, and commissioners do not receive longevity pay.
Just for clarification. All right. Any other discussion, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries. All right, do you have a few more?
We
here?
have a few more claims. These were last minute claims that was in our best interest to pay. The first one was Menton Technologies, and it is for the software. We need to change that. It should have been a bill for the Director of Equalization. It got coded wrong. So we will fix that, but it's for her, the Director of Equalization's Marshall and Swift rates and the ProVal program that they use to implement their assessments. The second one was Austin Law Offices, and this is a court-appointed attorney bill for $1,243. The Boys and Girls Club, the juvenile justice money that we approved, $18,632.04. Credit Collection is our collection agency, and they were able to get us one more bill this year, so we paid them $583.61 and $216.71 for the two different types of accounts that they collect for us. Thompson Reuters West is our law library for the state's attorney's office. For some reason, they stopped sending us paper copies for invoices. So the state's attorney got behind by 3 months. I've contacted them, telling them we prefer paper copies to emails because we don't like to open emails that we do not expect. So anyway, state's attorney's office to catch up for 3 months, that was $797.22.
Cindy, on that, so it's August, October, November.
Correct.
What happened to September?
Somehow we got September.
Oh, okay.
Don't know.
Is this I'm sorry, that's the law library? Or that's the.
Becky also has a law
That's the-
library.
Oh, that's the Westlaw subscription, okay.
Yeah,
yeah,
Becky
all right.
also has a law
Yeah.
library
Yeah.
subscription.
That's
Yeah.
not the one.
No, I
at the
know.
Westlaw.
Library.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not the one at the city, at the city library.
Okay.
We have a Visa Reliabank for $25.79 for the state's attorney's office for supplies. Another Visa Reliabank for the sheriff's office for miscellaneous supplies during the month, totaling $545.29. The final Visa Reliabank is $1,223.05 for the emergency management for various supplies. And the final bill is to the Watertown Chamber of Commerce for $2,333, and that was for the additional outlets that were installed in the
Back in the barn.
barn. The Ag Chamber Committee covered the majority of that bill, and the county is paying $2,333. Sorry, we have one more. White and Comus Funeral Home for 2 indigent burial fees, $5,150.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, got a motion by Johnson and second by Van Duzen. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item number 19, action. Possible discussion on COVID-19 practices, procedures, policy. Anyone have anything for that?
Natalie, you sent out an email on the COVID stuff about the FMLA stuff or when it all expires, can you just remind us of that?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Yes, I sent an email to department heads and asked them to follow up with their employees. So when the Families First Coronavirus Response Act was passed, I think in April or whatever, it included 2 provisions. One was an emergency paid sick leave benefit for people that had gotten COVID, were forced to quarantine. And then another one was expanded Family Medical Leave Act coverage, which provided for if your kid, school, or place of business was closed, school or daycare was closed and you were caring for a minor child, they could take leave on that. And then if you were caring for somebody that had COVID, you could take leave on that. So those benefits are set to expire December 31st. So if employees from there on will not have that COVID leave or additional COVID pay coverage, so it'd be using their regular sick leave, regular vacation leave, or if needed, they could appeal to you for unpaid leave.
Okay.
Congress did pass, I know, a new stimulus package, but as far as I've seen, last night, it doesn't include expanding that benefit. So yes, that is set to expire December 31st.
And we did add additional hours to that as well. Did we
Yes,
put a
and that's in their
deadline?
sick bank already.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that just stays in there.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good input.
Thank you.
All right, item number 20, action to approve automatic budget supplements, juvenile justice reinvestment grant funds. So we
And this
made,
is the second step of the process to supplement the state's attorney's budget with $18,632.04, which was received as a grant reimbursement that we are reallocating to the Watertown Boys and Girls Club.
So I'll make that motion.
motion by Gable, second by Waterman. Any other discussion?
So just so people know what we're doing, we're just putting it in the budget so we can,
Pay it out.
we got to stick it in a place in the budget.
Yes, we did not budget for it, so we can do an automatic supplement, yes.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Item number 21, or Natalie, are you ready yet?
I agree.
Go back up to that.
Okay, thank you. This one is with changes, so the changes are tracked, so you can see the difference. I may not always stay together, my apologies. Hot off the press here.
One side of the page. too, so
Which contract is this?
So this is
Jail.
the correctional officers.
Page 18.
Sorry for the mess of papers.
They are warm, yeah.
They are warm. I know. I said hot off the press. I should have given you this one before so you could see the changes as well with the one that had the changes or finalized. So my apologies. Okay. So the changes are just a few. So if you go to page 11, this sentence under work week, excuse me, was added. This was not in there before. And then it was, so they had proposed, you can see the changes, track correctional officers who work daylight savings time shall be made whole, which what we have approved of correctional officers who work daylight savings time will be paid for the actual number of hours worked. This was a practice that was being done, but was not in the contract. So
We just
that
got
was
to,
one that was added.
we got to fix savings. It's spelled wrong. It's FASAVNIGS.
Good call.
Savings.
Yes.
The correction officers are fine if we spell the word savings.
Yeah. The second change was on 21, or page 21, excuse me, and number 43 was removed. It talked about, it was from a copy from the sheriff's agreement, and it talked about them having vehicles, and the correctional officers do not have access to vehicles. So that whole language and section was removed, and then everything after that was renumbered. And then just the other change was Appendix A regarding Nicola. So disregard my previous comments about the 20-year things. I think that was part of negotiations and was not finalized. So,
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds great.
thank you. So those are your only changes that were made.
Read them all, right?
Yeah.
Should keep it all the
So
same.
say that, okay, disregarding. what are we
I
disregarding?
will make a motion to approve that contract.
Second.
All right, motion by Van Duzen, second by Gable. Any further discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That contract is accepted as well. So we just have
Thank you.
one to go, right?
We have the highway to go, correct? And hopefully that'll get done by the end of the year,
Doesn't even
which
go.
is next week.
Great. Thanks, Natalie. All right, moving right along to item number 21, action to approve personnel changes. We have a few of those.
We have two. The first one is Katie Mose in the state's attorney's office. Katie is currently an 80% full-time employee, and the state's attorney recommends moving her from 80% to 100% employee beginning January 1st. The new rate of pay will be step 4, $16.96 per hour, and that is based on the 2020 rate, so that will change, but it will be step 4 when we adopt our new payroll resolution. The second one is Allison Bakken as a new deputy state's attorney. Pay rate $66,500 per month. I may need to talk to Becky because
Per year.
No,
per year.
I was
Yep,
gonna say,
yep.
probably not per
Sorry,
month.
sorry,
Thank you.
because that does not come out to 12 equal payments, so we will need to talk to Becky about that one, but approximately $66,500 per year. Her effective date is December 21st.
Motion.
Um,
Right?
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Who
made the
discussion?
motion?
Gable made the motion, Johnson second. You have discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just curious about the 80% to 100%. What's that gonna mean for that position as far as hours? I mean, what's the,
Well, she was working 32 hours
So
per
she'll
week,
go-
and she'll go to 40 hours per week.
that's not gonna affect benefits or anything?
Nope, she was already receiving benefits.
Okay.
Yep, she was one of those part-time employees who did receive benefits, so.
My question was, and it's probably not appropriate at this time, but I probably should have asked Becky when she was here. What is Ellison's backup? I mean, is she coming from an attorney's office or something? You know?
I could not tell you.
I
Nope, I have
would,
not received any.
I would imagine she would want someone who is ready to step into that role, because with our
That's what I was
workload.
kind of wondering if she had a background in that area.
I'm sure that's one of the qualifications. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that motion carries also. Item number 22, action to approve travel requests. Don't have any. Public notices, quorum of commissioners could be in attendance at anything you can think of. I don't have anything. Old business, do we have anything for old business? How about new business? Cindy, do you want to give the office closures?
We will be closed Thursday and Friday this week per our personnel policy. We follow the closures of the state of South Dakota. So we will be closed all day Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, Thursday and Friday. And next week, we will be closed on Friday, January 1st.
All right. Anything for the open? Guess I have one thing, we're having issues with our individuals in our courthouse falling on the steps. Well, I talked to a Dual County commissioner and they are seeing more of that as well. It's kind of,
It may not be.
I looked at that on my way out last week, and there is stuff already plastered on the window down there. So I don't know how we could make that, if they're looking at the glass on their
Well,
way down, I
there's
don't know how we
something
could
new up
make
there
it.
yeah,
today.
they did put a new
They
sign.
put up a
Oh,
new
okay,
sign today,
okay.
watch your step, and they took down all the other miscellaneous signs that may have been a distraction. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
so we'll
know.
see how
Just
that
putting a
works.
little bit of-
Should have maybe made it in orange.
Okay,
But
good.
anyway, yeah, so I guess we're not the only ones. I don't know if that's the only other commissioners I've talked to, and they're kind of having, but he said too, and that's probably the way the courthouses were, those handrails kind of stop.
They stop before you get to
Before
the
you get
bottom
to
of the
the
stairs.
last
It's
step.
The new handrail goes beyond like it, doesn't it?
Nope,
A little
the
bit.
post stops
Yeah.
at the second to the
The
last
second
step.
step, yeah.
Oh, so that it doesn't hang over, okay. We could extend that. We could hire.
I don't know. He was probably ordered one whole long thing.
I don't know how it was ordered and, yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, work in progress, I guess. Hopefully we can get that solved. Item number 27, action to enter an executive session. Does anyone have any reason? Natalie?
Were we gonna come back to the benefits, life insurance benefits, or
Next week.
next week? Okay,
Next, we'll put it on for, we'll do it for next week.
okay.
We'll do that next week.
Next week.
Move to adjourn.
Do we have any of this? All right, I got a motion by Johnson to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Gable. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Thanks,
For
everyone.
the
Have
rest
a
of you,
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.